So let's address the core question. Did Kenya negotiate or fight for independence? And the honest answer is both. But the sequence really does matter, because in 1952, Mau Mau uprising begins. In 1956, Britain crashes military phase. And in 1960, Lancaster House negotiations. And guess what? In 1963, by the time we turn to 1963, we've gained our independence. But you have to notice something. You have to notice what happened. Britain didn't invite Kenyans to negotiate in 1950. Invited them after the Mau Mau made colonial rule unsustainable. You don't get a seat at the table because you ask nicely. You get a seat because the alternative is worse. Mau Mau created leverage, and negotiations converted that leverage into policy. So in Kenya negotiated independence without mentioning Mau Mau is like saying apartheid ended through dialogue. Technically true, but fundamentally, because negotiations do not happen in a vacuum. They happen when the cost of maintaining power exceeds the cost of conceding it. And here's the proof. Without Mau Mau, Kenya becomes Uganda, where settlers had minimal land and independence came smoothly. Without Mau Mau, Kenya becomes Tanzania, where land disposition was limited and Nyerere negotiated peacefully. But Kenya had 60,000 white settlers sitting on 5 million acres. Those settlers weren't living voluntarily. They even said it explicitly. They said, Kenya is our home and we will fight to keep it. They only changed their minds when Mau Mau made it clear you can either live peacefully or you can live violently. Either way, guess what? You're living. That's not a negotiation. That's a exit dressed up as diplomacy. Let me put this into context. This is not a coincidence. Uganda and Tanzania didn't fight less because they were weaker. They fought less because they were disposed less. In Uganda, the British used indirect rule. They governed through local kings. Land remained largely under African control. In Tanzania, German and British settlers focused on coastal trade, not mass agriculture. There was no White Highlands equivalent. In Kenya was meant to be a settler colony, like South Africa, like Rhodesia. The British envisioned a white majority state in East Africa. They marketed Kenyan lands to British farmers as empty. They built infrastructure to support white agriculture. They created laws that made African land ownership illegal in the highlands. So when Kenyans fought back, they weren't just resisting taxation or labor conscription. They were resisting erasure. And that's why the comparison to Uganda and Tanzania is completely dishonest. It's like saying person A didn't fight a burglar, so person B should have either. Except person A's house wasn't being burglared, and person B's house was being completely stolen. Context matters.